I know what my audience like. I did some independent films with Master P, and a lot of those movies did really well.
I'm ambitious, I'm a hustler. I have my own lane.
That's the thing about comedy. You wake up every day, you don't know if you're funny that day.
Coast. We talked about a few weeks ago about traveling, and I wanted to get a perspective from somebody that did a lot of traveling and you know, took people all over the world, and how this pandemic has really slowed things down for them and for the rest of us. So please welcome in from Progressive Travelers, Oyama Cavaness. What's up with you, homie?
What's up, my dude? What's going on? We back. Lake Show, baby. LA is back. What's up?
Oh, wait a minute. So you're not a Hawks fan? You're not a Hawks fan? Enough said.
I will show my Hawks some love. I show my Falcons some love. Do you know how hard that is? Like, that's really
impossible right now. Impossible.
It's really a struggle, but I got love for those teams. But I live in LA, so at least I have, I have the opportunity to root for winning teams, losing teams. And I went to UVA.
Yes.
6 years. Yeah. 2 years in a row.
Yeah, the same UVA where my college, UMBC, we got rid of y'all in the first round a couple years ago.
But that's how it had to go down like that for us to rewrite the story and win the next round.
Oh, okay.
That was a part of the story y'all didn't know about. We knew about it. You know what I'm saying? So
makes sense.
It wouldn't have been as amazing of a win the following year if we didn't lose to a 16.
True.
Right?
True indeed.
And then COVID happened, and we're still champs. So that's how we get down.
I don't even think it works. I don't know if it works.
That is how it works.
I think it expired after a certain time.
No, we're still champs.
No,
just so you know.
Now,
what happened in 2020, you get to rewrite some rules, and we're still champs.
We're gonna come back to that. Last thing on the Lakers: are you a Lakers fan or a LeBron fan? Because there's a difference.
I am a Lakers fan. Okay. I have been a Lakers fan.
Okay,
Kobe is like my number one dude forever.
Okay.
So way before LeBron, but I mean, he's a winner. He's a champion. So
I'll take it.
Bring us back.
We'll allow it. All right. So moving forward. Now you said something very interesting just now. 2020, the way it's been, the rules are we should be allowed to rewrite it. You are somebody that had a worldwide travel group that used to do big trips, big moves.
Absolutely.
Called Progressive Travelers.
Right.
Tell us what that was all about pre-COVID.
So what I would do on my spare time as a hobby is I would go all around the world. And one time I was going somewhere, my friends called me out and they were like, go somewhere else without us and there's going to be a problem. So, a lot of people talk real big when it comes to travel, but when it's time to pay some money, they're ghosts. So I tested my friends and I planned a trip to Thailand and 13 people came. And so I realized okay, they're for real. They're not playing. So while we were on the trip, they were asking, what's our next trip? What's our next trip? So I decided I was going to start a travel club. And I wanted it to be travel destinations that were really exotic, that people wouldn't go to on their own. So when I plan a trip, like we just came back from Tanzania last year, we went to the Serengeti. That was amazing. We've done Bali. We've done India. We've done South Africa. We've done Ghana. So every year I plan a huge trip. And then I also started a travel company because I get so many referrals. Because when we go on our trips, everyone is posting on social media. I get a lot of referrals. So now I just plan trips for every and anybody.
Now, what is Bali? Is that the one where I see, with the little cabanas that are out sitting on the water? Is that?
No, that's more like Fiji.
Oh, okay.
That's not Bali. Bali is more eat, pray, love. It's Indonesia. It's an island in Indonesia. Indonesia is made up of a bunch of islands, but Bali is the one that's most popular. And it's like people go there to meditate, basically. Okay. Like when they're trying to find themselves, that's like a really popular destination. I think that's where Russell Simmons is right now during quarantine.
He's not there doing
yoga in Bali.
He's in exile. I don't think he can come back. Yeah.
Might be right. You might.
Yeah. Now, when you go to these type of places, what types of trip are they? Are they like spiritual retreats? Are they just social? Are they educational? Because I know, like one, I was watching your Egypt trips, and you had been there on more than one occasion, so you was jive like leading the tour.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these places I've already been to,
Mhm.
and I go to a lot of places to scout like where I want to send my clients, because you might go somewhere and you have a concept of a place in mind, and then you go there and you're like, this was terrible.
Mm.
And so I would never, that's my reputation. So I would never want to send someone somewhere that's whack. You know what I mean? So a lot of the places that I go or I send people to, I've already been. There may be a tour. I take a lot of tours to see if they're dope or not. So a lot of times I'll go on a tour to evaluate it, and then I'll say, okay, no, there's no way I could ever sell this to anyone because it's terrible. I just did that, actually. I just came back from Mexico, and I spent 3 days at an all-inclusive resort that was trash.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm glad that I realized it was trash before I sold it. And then, somebody is paying me good money and I send them somewhere whack. Like, I'm not going to do that. Like,
Yeah.
my trips are experiences. So when someone goes on one of my trips, they're going to come back. It's going to be the trip of a lifetime. They're going to tell everybody about it. And then I'm going to get more calls. So I make sure my trips are not whack.
How are things changed? Like, how is it different? Is this your first trip since the lockdown? Like, how are things different?
It was my first international trip.
Okay.
So I have gone on a couple of domestic trips, and the main reason is because flying. I mean, with COVID, the flying game has changed, and I was actually like developing a phobia of flying, and that's how I live my life. So so here's the real story. You're the first one. This is breaking news.
Okay.
So I called a therapist because I was like, yo, I can't be scared to travel. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the hell? That's what I do. And she basically told me, she was really helpful. She basically told me, so either you're going to have to do it and realize the outcome of doing it, or you're going to have to find something else that fulfills you as much as travel and come to terms with the fact that you won't be traveling. And like, as soon as I hung up the phone, I booked the flight. Like, I was like, oh, hell no.
I could have told you that. I feel like that ain't therapy. I could have told you that. That was easy. Either you gonna go or not go. That's just pretty much with the choices you got. Hold on. Huh? I'm on a call, goddammit. Either you gonna go or not go. That was too easy. That was way too easy. She got you.
Nah, she didn't get me because literally I was trying to process like travel.
Yeah.
And she was like, you have to do it.
Yeah.
Like, you can't think about it. You either have to do it or you're not going to do it. So
Right.
that really, like, literally I hung up the phone with her and I started searching flights because the other option was come to terms with the fact that you won't, and that's not okay.
Right.
So
Right.
I booked a flight. If I hadn't talked to her, I might still be sitting here
Going back and
thinking
forth.
about booking a flight.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I booked a flight. I went to Denver because it's only like 2 hours from LA, and the numbers are super low, so it's pretty safe there. And I was fine. I wore a mask and a shield on the plane. I booked Delta because a few airlines like Delta and Southwest are not selling the middle seat.
Right.
So I feel a little bit more comfortable on those flights. And I was fine. And after I did that, then I was like, okay, it's not an abstract concept anymore. Like, okay, now I can actually fly.
Now, for the phobia, the fear, is it a flying or the place where you're going? Like, which one of those do you weigh? Like,
Well, for me, it was COVID.
right,
And the airplane, that small space,
Right.
because the whole point is to distance yourself from people. And in an airplane, you really can't.
right,
And like on a regular trip, you might get sick on a flight because the germs are all over the flight. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I was just like, okay, how am I going to fly? Like, how does this work during COVID? But with the mask and the shield, they give you like a little small water and some cookies and some like peanuts or something. I don't eat at all during the flight.
Okay.
I haven't taken like a long flight where I would need to eat, so that'll be new when that actually happens. But just don't eat before, eat before or after the flight. Don't eat during the flight. Keep your mask. I had my shield, so I felt extra safe. And also, one thing that I learned when I was coming back from Mexico is there's ideal travel times. So my flight left from Mexico at 9 a.m. So I was at the airport at 7 a.m. and the airport wasn't packed. But a friend of mine who went with me, she left around noon and the airport was crazy packed. So, that's less safe. So I would say, also choose times that aren't peak times that other people are traveling. So you feel like you have your own personal space in the airport, on the airplane. The flights might be less packed early in the morning, so you might not even I've had a full row to myself. I didn't have to worry about the middle seat.
Let's talk a little bit about some of the trips that you have taken over the years. Like what's your favorite place to be?
The one you mentioned, Egypt. Well, I'm a history fanatic. So for me, it doesn't get any better than Egypt because, first of all, it's the birthplace of everything. You see the first calendar ever. You see, how doctors learned medicine, where the prescription sign actually came from the hieroglyphics are on the wall in that temple. Like, you just learned so much. It's incredible. And Black people did this. You know what I'm saying? They try to make you think that they're like a mixed race. No, this is when Egypt was Black. There's still Black people in Egypt now. They're in Aswan, and it's 2 million blackity Black people still in Egypt. So it's incredible. And I think every Black person needs to go to Egypt just to know your power.
What's your least favorite?
Oh, that's hard. I might get hurt for this one, but I didn't love Cartagena. Like, everybody loves Colombia. I hate to say it's my least favorite though, because there was some takeaways that I'm glad that I went, but I don't ever have to go back. Like, it's not a place that a lot of people, it's a hot spot. A lot of people going to Colombia right now and everybody loves Cartagena, but I didn't love it. Like,
you just didn't have a good experience, or because I feel like in a Cartagena, you got to be looking over your shoulder all the time. And
no, not at all.
Too much. I watched too much Narcos and shit like that.
No, it was safe. Like, I thought that because my parents, they're ridiculous, but they were like, why would you go there? It's violent. And it was not. Like, by day 2, I was walking by myself because I realized it was safe. You know what I mean? So it's got a wall around it. And if you're inside of the wall, you're very safe. But if you're outside of the wall, it's a little shaky. So as long as you stay inside of the wall, you're good. I think my issue, I don't really know what my issue was. It's just like places like, it reminded me a lot of Havana.
I love Havana. Yeah, Cuba.
I didn't.
You didn't like Cuba? That's my favorite.
I love it.
That's my favorite international destination as an adult that I've ever been to. I felt the safest I've ever felt.
Yeah, no, it's safe.
Of Cuba at 3 a.m.
No, it's safe. But let me tell you why. Okay, I'm bougie. And I like to travel bougie. Like, I like nice things. And in Cuba, it was a little rough for me.
Yeah,
like,
real plummy.
The Wi-Fi is not easily accessible. The ATM is not easily accessible. The Airbnbs.
I got lucky. We got lucky. We was in a nice one, and we watched YouTube videos for like 2 weeks going into it. So I knew not that ATM was a dead issue. I knew the Wi-Fi, you had to go to the park at 2 in the afternoon,
and you got to stand like on one leg with your head this way,
with the card, Wi-Fi card.
Yeah.
That was all fun to me though.
Well, some people like to check out. Like, some people completely like to check out, and they appreciate it for that reason.
Completely.
And the Spanish, I don't know a lick of Spanish.
But you don't need a lot of Cuba. You don't really need a lot, and you
do.
You look like them. You look like them.
So it's rough for me.
Pequeño, grande, cuantos. That's all you really need.
Baño. That's
and
what
baño. Yeah,
Just
yeah,
like that. So, yeah, Cuba didn't do it for me either. But I also really like black folks, and I need to go to a different part. I need to go to Santiago. Like, I bet if I went to a different part of Cuba, it would be completely different. Because if I go to where all the black folks are, I'm gonna love it. Like in Cartagena, there's a city called Palenque that's an hour outside of Cartagena, where they started like the first black city that revolted against slavery. And that was amazing to me. Like, that was my favorite part of being in Cartagena, because they kept all of the history from Africa, and it feels very African. So I love that.
I want to do Ghana and Egypt, but
Yes.
before COVID, I couldn't handle the flight. Like, mentally, I can't handle it. So I was ready to start popping pills and do drugs, and then COVID happened. Because I
need you to come on one of my trips. I've been inviting you on my trips for a minute. I wish you had come to Peru with me and Carl, me and my brother. Right, like
Machu Picchu, right?
Yeah, like you would have had a blast at Machu Picchu with us. But yeah, you got to come on one of my trips. I really hope that black people will go to Africa. A lot of black people, they're like enamored with Europe. They want to go to Paris and Italy.
I have no desire to see none of that.
And Portugal and Berlin, and that's great. Like, all of those places are great. I've been to a lot of those places, and I love a lot of those places. But Africa, for us, it's just, I need more of us to see where we come from and to experience Africa.
What do you think about Ghana offering Black Americans dual citizenship?
I think number one is super dope, because their whole marketing around the year to return 400 was brilliant. Because let me tell you, I did one of my trips to Ghana 2 years before that, right? And 7 people went. 7 people is not a lot of people for my trips.
Right.
Year before that, we went to Dubai and India, and 24 people went to Dubai and India. The very next year, only 7 people were interested in going to Ghana. And I find that to be fascinating. It was too black for us. But for some reason, we connected with that 400. Like, it was all marketing. It was all, we're so brainwashed. When celebrities go and they make it cool, then it's cool. And then everybody wanted to go to Ghana. And everybody needs to go to Ghana. Like, all black people need to go to Ghana. So I'm glad whatever happened, because it was like a case study for me that nobody wanted to go when I did my trip, except for these 7 people. So it's really interesting. The blacker my trips get, the less people that come.
I don't want to hear that. That's crazy.
No, it's real talk. It's real talk. It's sad. It's sad. And you know what I was hoping? I was hoping that Black Panther was going to change everything. Like, are
you doing a trip to Wakanda? Are you?
Wakanda is all of my trips to Africa. They're all fucking Wakanda, right? But I was really hoping that I would have like a interest spike in going to Africa during like the Black Panther Wakanda Forever. I didn't know what was going to happen. Didn't happen.
There's so many layers to that. There's a much deeper issue, and you use the correct term, brainwash. And it's just, we don't think of our own ancestry or homeland as sexy. It's not a sexy trip because of the way it's been painted to us all over the years, and then a lot of times how some of them treat us and our interactions with them over here. And it's like, I'm not going over here because that's Mr. Mabufe. My old principal, he was rude as shit, you know what I'm saying, when I was young. But a lot of us get hung up on that. But
let me tell you, when you go over there, they are so gracious. They're so warm, because they're like, you took your time to come here, welcome home. And they make it their mission to show you like the trip of a lifetime, because they're so glad that you cared enough to come back. So they treat you like, when you land, it's welcome home, sister, welcome home, brother, and you get treated like royalty because they're so glad that you're ready to like return.
Yeah, I see. There's a big contingent of expats or repatriates who have settled in like the Gambia. I see that. I follow this channel on YouTube where it's a lot of black couples, and they're not old. They're not like we retired.
Yeah, right.
They're like legit young professionals who have went over there, and it's like a whole, and they're building community and all that. And so that's fascinating to me. Why you talked about if you ever were to live somewhere, it would be South Africa. Why South Africa over anywhere else?
Here we go. You gonna make me look bad again. So the reason is because I'm bougie.
Oh, okay. And that's fair.
Some places, I love a lot of places in Africa. I've been to a lot of places in Africa, but South Africa has the lifestyle that I want to live. Like, it is like the cities in Johannesburg. Like, Johannesburg is a area, but some of the areas in Johannesburg are like me being in Beverly Hills. Like, wow. And the shit is cheap. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you good. No, that's where we at.
Okay. Yeah. Yo, it's so cheap. Like, the rand is 17 to 1. So, and I'm not,
what is that? That's the rand.
The rand. That's their dollar.
Right. Okay.
And it's 17 to 1. So I'm not exaggerating right now. In the Beverly Hills of South Africa, in Johannesburg, you can have a 4-bedroom house with a pool for about $215,000.
Yeah. I mean, that's reason enough.
And I'm talking about fly, like, fly, top of the line, like, luxurious in the best neighborhoods. Like, it's so dirt cheap. I have a friend that's there now. She actually moved from LA. She's staying in a 3-bedroom, 3-bathroom house in one of these nice neighborhoods in Johannesburg, and her rent, she's paying rent, it's $1,300 a month.
You can't even get that here.
And I'm just like, and then it's a 3-bedroom, 3-bath. It has a separate interest for one of the bedrooms and one of the baths. So she's gonna Airbnb that. So let's say she gets like $500 a month from Airbnb for that. That puts her at what, $800 a month for a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom house with a pool. It has a pool.
She's an owner or she renting?
She's renting.
How you gonna Airbnb a place that you renting? How you gonna do that?
Excuse me.
Oh, okay. Yeah, all right. Say less. Yeah. I was like, what?
What's the problem?
Yeah. No, that's what's up.
But so wait, let me go back. You mentioned like how Ghana is offering, citizenship. So the thing that's so dope about that is that, for instance, in South Africa, if I wanted to buy a home in South Africa, you can't finance in South Africa. You have to bring a huge chunk of money. Like, I would have to have at least 100 G's in order to buy that $200,000 house in South Africa, because I'm not a citizen. And they want to make sure if you are there, you're contributing. You're not just taking and stealing like everybody else who came there. So the dope thing about what's happening in Ghana is they're giving you citizenship. So you'll be able to participate in their economy off jump. And I think it's like $240. Like, it's something ridiculous.
Right. Wow.
To become a citizen. There's a little bit of hoops that you have to go through. But once you're a citizen, you can participate. Yeah. Like in South Africa, if I want to buy a car, I can't finance it. I'm going to have to like give them 15 G's or something for what I want. But in Ghana, I wouldn't have that problem. Like, I would already be in the system. I would be able to get a bank account with no problem. So that is super dope.
All right, let's go to the Peanut Gallery right now. Jay Elite is actually one of our loyal viewers. She's actually in Dubai right now.
Oh, what's up?
Watching the show. So she asked about Casablanca and whether or not you enjoyed it or not.
I haven't been to Casablanca. I've been to Morocco, but when I was in Morocco, I was in Gibraltar, which is southern tip of Spain. And then I took a ferry into Morocco, into Tangier, which is touristy. Like, it's super touristy. So I wouldn't say that I got a real Moroccan experience, because I just went to the port at the top of Morocco. So I haven't really like done Morocco. And I hate to say it, but I ain't really tripping off of Morocco because it ain't blackety black 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 like I like it. That's like
Mm,
more of the Arab part of like it's North Africa, so it's more Arab. But people, it's a hot spot.
yeah,
People love these hot spots. Like
yeah,
everybody's going to Morocco right now, and I'm not hating. Like if
right.
that's you, do you? But for me, it's not a priority.
Now, if so, I'm gonna pull up your website back up on the site. So when we visit progressive travelers, the site, what type of experience can we expect? Do you have different tiered trips? Do you have like the economy packages or the super friendly reunion styles? Like what type? What you got coming up?
So I basically have like just if this is your first time going somewhere, these are the things that you should definitely see. Right? Like those are the packages that I have on my site. But I also customize when I talk to my clients, I see what they're into because some people don't want to go on a lot of tours. Like they're not touristy
Mm,
people. They just want to be out and about. So I'll make sure they're in a safe area. I make sure, they have a contact on the ground in case something goes down, and I'll tell them what to see on their own. Some people want to do tours. And like I said, a lot of these places I've been, so I make sure that I put them on the right tours, and
right.
they're gonna like their mind will be blown. So most of these packages are like for first timers in these places, and but if you're an experienced traveler, I'll probably break you off with some extra stuff because I know you can handle it. Like some people in these exotic destinations, they need to be their hands need to be held a little bit
Yeah.
more. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
I take care of them.
especially if you knew. I mean, this is to be honest. The last couple of years, I've seen a lot of big black travel groups. I'm in
Yeah,
one on Facebook with like 50,000 people in.
yeah, exactly.
And so that's a new thing for us. That's not something we did. You
It's
know
true.
what I mean?
And
And
social media is a part of the reason.
yeah. You should on your next trip, right? Your next solo trip, you do the virtual. You just stream, just Twitch, like the entire time.
Well, I did that in Mexico and people weren't like feeling it because I think
Really?
they're like, first of all, you flossing like, oh, you on this beach. Oh, okay, I see you
Yeah,
on this beach right now. And I ain't even trying to floss, but what I'm trying to do is encourage people,
yeah.
there's a fear, like there's a mental fear. I actually, since I did that, I have a couple of clients that are leaving in a couple of days going to Mexico. I got people hitting me up now because they saw me do it and
Right.
they're texting me and they're like, okay, what do I need to do? How do I do this? So I'm just trying to encourage people
Yeah.
and to get people to lose the fear. But there's a lot of the, oh, okay, I see how you get there. You know what I mean? It's not even like that.
Yeah, you need a different audience. They're not who you want.
No
Yeah,
haters.
yeah, you don't want the haters. All right, there it is. Oyama Cavanes from Progressive Travelers, PTWorldAdventures.com.
You spelled it wrong too, but
What I say? What I spell?
travelers, internationally, globally, it has two L's, but I guess
What? We in America. This is America right here, Jack. This is Travelers with two L's. Is it pronounced the same? You gotta roll it.
you know what? It's travelers,
Oh, okay. All
but
right.
it's two L's. But it's all good.
How
Everybody
do you
knows
spell
that.
it on your website? That's the question. Do you spell
Not
it?
like that. Not like that.
Wait a minute, let me check. Wait a minute. You didn't call me out there. Oh, you do? Oh, like traveler's checks almost. Oh, I didn't even see.
Travelers, global.
Good call. All right. Hey, man, I stand corrected. I don't have no
It's all
problem
good.
with
It's
that.
all
I
good.
appreciate you. Thanks for coming on and just giving us a little insight into the world of the international traveler. I appreciate you, man. Always good to see you.
All right, you too. And please, if anyone has any questions, needs help, you ready to do this, holla at me. Hit me up, DM me on IG.
There it is. All right.
All right, go Lakers.
I don't care if it is a closet. You still looking mad official.